What is the problem?
We have very big debt, foreign debt. It's more than 100% of GDP because of very bad project connected with the corruption. But that is not only the problem. The problem is because of COVID we lost less touristic season, and our budget is 25% dependent from touristic season, and that is the reason why our finances are not so good in this moment.
Let's focus on this highway project. This is probably the most expensive highway of the world. So given the fact that it's so expensive, is your country really in need for such a huge project?
That's the key question. So this is, maybe it's not most expensive, but one of the most expensive highways in the world. It's around 27 millions of euros for the kilometer. That is a highway of 43 kilometers, and we take $1 billion in that moment in 2014 loan for the building of that huge project. In that moment in 2014, that was around 30% of our GDP. So can you imagine some country like France, Germany, I don't know, Estonia or Poland, to take the loan 30% of the GDP for 43 kilometers of highway, and that is only one part of the highway. So we need two more parts of the highway, to finish the project from the coast of Montenegro to the north of the Montenegro. But to be very clear, we are not angry to Chinese. We are angry and disappointed to our former government. Our officials decide to make that kind of project with that kind of conditions. That is the problem. We don't have nothing against our Chinese partners. They give us the money, they starting the project, we want to finish that project, but new government will make the monitoring of all project, and all people, all officials of Montenegro which was involved in the project, and all subcontractor which start with the project, and all another things which or they was untransparent in the past.
A follow-up question on this: are you considering that there is a problem with kickbacks, with corruption linked to this highway contract, given the fact that for the subcontractors there was no official public tender procedure?
Yes, when we adopt the law for the highway, I was in opposition in the parliament. In that period, me personally, but all opposition was against. But what we can do is to open all the documents, make the monitoring, see what happened, see where is the damage for the national interest of Montenegro or for the public budget, and if we find something which is problematic, just to give to the special prosecutor for the former proceeding.
That's interesting. So there will be an investigation.
I am more than sure that yes, because this is so big impact to our budget, and it will be very irresponsible to just pass this situation, this question, to say okay, nothing's happened, let's go on. We should check. I don't want to say that someone is guilty or is responsible without evidence. But everything what's happened around this project was pretty untransparent. We crash 2 times deadlines for the finishing of the project.
Today we just have a part of the highway. I mean, this is a highway which is going up to Serbia, but right now we just have a little part of it. So who will finish? Who will complete this missing part?
That is what we ask in the Brussels. That is what we ask in the Brussels. And when someone say to me, you go to the Brussels to ask for the supporting of the Chinese loan, that is not true. We should have the vision for the future of our country. We still have 2 parts of the highway to build, and I am more than sure that we will find some solution for the financing from European institution for this another 2 parts. In that way we will have finished our highway and connection, better connection, which we will use not only for touristic season part, but for the economical development of north of the country and for the economical development of Port of Bar.
Are you also negotiating with the Chinese government regarding these missing parts of the highway?
Also that is some kind of opportunity. It is to make that also with Chinese. We are not close for anyone, but we should be very careful what kind of arrangement we want. That's it. If someone want to put the guarantee all territory of Montenegro for some loan, it doesn't matter if it is 1 billion of euro or 500 million of euro. I think that is unresponsible, and we are now victim of the extremely bad decision of the former government. And I don't understand what kind of responsibility, what kind of persons are officials for the former government which signed the agreement that if something happened, hypothetically, someone can take your land for the guarantee. This is not normal. This is something which is really terrible. This is out of any kind of logic of national interest. So nobody will do that.
China today holds roughly 20% of the public debts of your country. Are you depending on China?
In one way, yes. In one way, no. I think that EU should care more what's happening in Montenegro and try to help us, not in the way to give us something like a gift, but just to make with us stronger partnership, also in reform and especially in the projects. We want to be part of EU, and they should make the partnership very strong. I know that we have everywhere also in the region in the past very corrupted, unfunctional governments with anti-European values and everything. That is true. But this part of the world, it's also geopolitically very important. And what I want to see, like a politician and let's say young person, I want to see more influence of EU in Western Balkan countries, in the changing of Western Balkan countries, in the making the Balkan countries really pro-European with the behavior, with the standards. And to make that possible, you should be present also economically, culturally, and in every kind of aspect.
Most technically, what has to be changed in your country that this will happen? And what has to be changed maybe on the European level that this will happen? A good cooperation between the European Union and Montenegro, because change is needed. Most precisely, what kind of change is needed now?
Our country needs to provide more rule of law. That is the problem. That is the biggest issue for us, fighting against organized crime and corruption. More professional institution, more independent institution, that is what is our part of the job. The EU in this moment make one fund for Western Balkan countries, 9 billion of euros is that fund. And also guarantee for that fund is 20 billion of euro. So this is the good way, good mechanism if that mechanism will start to use in the region. This is the good way how people of Western Balkan country can understand that something which is really friend very close to them and very close to the needs of the ordinary people. That is the in another way. If we don't use that, I think that many another superpowers will have the interest to make the influence in this region and can just destroy our European future.